All right, let's get started. Can you guys see this? Okay.
Yes, I can see it. Okay.
It's not like a super elaborate presentation for you tonight. Sometimes I do that, but I mostly just wanted to talk since there's just a few of us here and hopefully some more people can catch the recording. So I'm just going to go through some tangible tips right now that are working for me. We all know that the world changes every 5 minutes. And sometimes the things that were working last year aren't working anymore. And you just got to go with the flow. So I'm going to share some things that are working for me right now. And if we have extra time at the end, I would love to hear some things that are working for you guys right now as well. But I'm going to go ahead and dive into some of my tips for things that are working for me at the moment. And feel free to grab a pen and paper if you want to take any notes, just because like I said, this presentation isn't super elaborate for you guys. So I'm mostly just going to talk. All right. So let's talk about social media. How do you guys feel about social media right now? Give me some feedback.
You know how I feel about social media. It is a love-hate relationship with social media for sure. I am learning to find my flow. I am learning to try new things. I am so grateful that we did the class because that opened up my eyes to different ways. And I love finding ways that are enjoyable because there are a lot of things that feel forced and unappreciated and difficult on social media.
I totally agree. Does anybody else want to share anything?
I
hey,
like hey. I like experimenting with social media because I think it's like a good way to show like your creativity, and it's also like a good way to sort of try to connect with new people as well.
Totally. I think for me, social media has connected me with so many people. I was looking at like my little geographical map in my back office the other day. I have customers in almost every state. So that's pretty exciting, you know, when you can just think about some of the cool tools and resources that we have now. And yes, I think we all have a love-hate social media relationship. Sometimes we feel like we're talking to nobody. Sometimes things go really well. So I'm just going to give you a few of my social media tips at the moment. First of all, I just want you guys to think of how are you serving people on social media? I think that so many people are just like basically a PR agent for themselves. And like that's not our intent for being on social media. We need to show up and serve people on social media. And I mean, I think stories are a little bit different. I think stories you can show a lot of behind the scenes and just your day to day, but especially with the content that we're making, I think we should be serving people. And I know that, you know, Instagram, for instance, really likes when you try all the different types of features they have. Reels are really hot right now, but they still like when you do Instagram TVs, when you show up in the stories, when you just put stuff in the feed. So, you know, I think it's good to vary your content and to try some different things. If you guys need help with reels, I actually am recording like a little how to reel mini course that I will put out probably next week sometime. I recorded it today, so I have to edit it. But just to teach people how to make reels, because I think sometimes it blocks us. And you know, me being a video editor, that's something that comes easy to me. So I'd love to share that with you guys later on. But something to think about is your bio. And this could be Facebook or YouTube or, you know, wherever. What does your bio say? Pretty much in your bio, you want to share how you serve people. If we're educators, we're not going to be like, my favorite color is blue and I love to take long walks on the beach. That stuff is great, but it's not a dating profile. Our social media pages should really be how we can educate and serve others. And when they click on our page, that's the first thing they see. So they really need to get that right away from us, how we can help other people. So it's super easy if you just update your bio and say, I help people buy. and then answer the rest of that question. And I think it's really good also to think about when you're making content, is your content either one of two things? Is it educational or entertaining, or both? Because that is content that is going to be shareable, likable, and helpful for people. And so if it's not one of those two things, maybe you shouldn't post it. I'll leave that to your discretion, but especially as educators, we should have our content be educational for a big part of that, and entertaining. You know, that's why people get on social media. And at the end of the day, I think most of us we hop on social media maybe to hang out and browse other people's pages, but a lot of us are creating content. So just keep that in mind. Is your content being educational or entertaining? And if it's not, then maybe you shouldn't post it, because we don't need to be a PR agent for ourselves. I hope that was a little bit helpful, and there's so much you can say about social media, but there's just some things that I've been thinking about lately. And, you know, I'm not necessarily the perfect social media queen, but I love learning more about how it works. And it's a valuable tool for me and my businesses. So, and the other thing about social media is it's social media. And to an extent, yes, we need to create before we consume. But if you're saying your engagement is really low right now, you need to schedule in a few minutes a day to just purely go interact with other people's accounts. Go leave comments on other people's stuff, share their content, support one another. That's something we can do for each other as well to help make sure that our content is getting seen. And, you know, it's not passive aggressive or manipulative at all to be interacting with other people's content in hopes that people come find you again. Because, you know, if someone sees you that you commented on their post, they're like, oh yeah, Courtney, she's so nice, I wonder what she's up to. And they'll click on your profile and go give you a check, go check you out. So I think it's really great to make sure we're not just scrolling. If you're checking out other people's stuff, really be engaging with it. Because that is also a way for people to come find your content, just simply by you interacting with other people's content. All right, some good tips there. Let's move on to the next thing that's working pretty well for me right now. Sampling. I still sample. Do you guys sample like monthly, every few months? What's your guys' sampling routine like? Anybody want to share? Okay, that's okay.
I just kind of sample based on just like, you know, as is. I happen to see another parent, and socializing right now is a little tricky. We're kind of like entering into more of that, but we haven't really seen too many people, you know, at school and stuff. But I happened to have a conversation on the playground and just dropped off a sample. So it's been just kind of as is. My sampling game is definitely off track these days.
Yeah, sampling's tricky because sometimes you're like, okay, I'm spending extra money and extra time creating these sample packs. I want to make sure that people are finding them really useful. So something I've talked about before is I have like a Google form, and I just have it linked in my profile and my website and a few different places that people can just very passively find that and fill it out if they would like to. And it lets me know if someone fills it out, I get an email. So that's a nice passive way. But some other things you could try with sampling is make it more specific. I know a lot of us, and you know, if you've done like the Elise trainings, it's kind of like you assess someone's health needs and then give them a sample based on that, right? But sometimes I feel like that just gets a little old with people, and I feel like that's a great approach a lot of the time. But sometimes you could just sample like a really specific thing. For example, last month I put out a question of, I had the new toothpaste samples, right? And I said, I shared a little bit about the toothpaste. I shared a little bit of a video. And then I said, who wants to try the new toothpaste? And I had 8 people, you guys, that have never had samples before, say they wanted toothpaste, because it was just really different, right? So I think we just have to try different things, try our approach a little different. I plan to next month, I want to sample LLV. Like I want to sample that. I want to just buy the kind of done for you packs. And I just want to sample that for people. And I might even offer that to like my current customers to try something new. You can always do the studies that Elise Genevieve has talked about. If you don't know what that is, go check out Back to Basics. But yeah, sometimes making it more specific has been something helpful for me to switch it up. And then I'll just show you guys really quick. Oopsies, I'm sorry. I'll just show you guys really quick what my sampling shenanigans looks like. It's hard to maneuver this. There we go. So I love Google Drive, guys. I use it for a lot of stuff. But I have my sample form is here. And so this is what it looks like when people fill it out. It asks them like, what's your name? Do you already have a customer account? What's your email, shipping address, your best phone number to text? And then they can click what they want support with. If they're just kind of passively finding it, then that's helpful for me. And then this is something important. I can't wait to teach you how to use your samples. Do you prefer to chat one-on-one or watch a Zoom class? So it's not just like, I'll follow up with you in a few days. I hope you like it. It's saying you get education along with this, and it's letting them pick which one of those two options they'd rather do. I probably get half people want to chat one-on-one, half people want to watch a Zoom class. So, and if I can't schedule out a time with somebody for the Zoom class, if it doesn't work at a good time for them, then I just do a one-on-one class with them. And this is something else, guys. On a scale of 1 to 10, do you have any interest in learning how to earn income with doTERRA if you love the products? We have an awesome, and I say affiliate/referral program because, you know, there's different options for people, whether it comes to sharing or doing it as a full-time business. And you guys would be surprised that so many people, when they fill out this form, they put like 6 or 7 or 8. And so I definitely need to do a little bit better job following up with these people that have said those answers. But it's great to know. And it's kind of a way, again, passive way for me to just put that out there, and people can just rate it on a scale of 1 to 10. And then I just put like a little video here at the end that they can watch too. And something really nice with the Google form is you can go over here to the 3 tabs, and you can do, oh, where is it? Maybe not in the 3 tabs. Settings. Oh no. Now that I'm trying to find it, I can't find it. Okay. I'll have to, if you guys want me to figure out later, just let me know. But you can have it, the button might not be here since I've already done it, but you can basically have your Google form transcribe everything into like an Excel document. And I think there's just a little button there somewhere. And basically it puts it all into a list for you, which makes it really nice. Don't steal anyone's personal information here, guys. But I just wanted to show you because once they fill all this out, I actually just over in this blank space at the end, I put what I sampled them because I always forget what I actually sent to people. So I just keep a note here on the end of the form, and that way it can remind me what I sampled people with. Okay, so hopefully that's kind of helpful, but yeah, look, you guys, like here's a 6 on interest in the business, a 5, a 7, a 5. So there's a 10. I have already talked to that person, but anyways, that's a little bit about what I do with my sampling form, and it's been really helpful. Something else with sampling that I have just started trying is making a QR code. And I feel like QR codes are kind of, well, they're becoming more popular. Have you guys used a QR code? Like, give me a thumbs up if you've used one before. Yeah. Okay. So you know how they work. Basically, you open up the camera on your phone and you're able to scan this QR code and it pops up a link. So I see them a lot of places now, like for menus and I don't know, all sorts of stuff. So something I just started making was I have a chiropractor and I asked if I could leave a diffuser there. And I was trying to figure out how I could collect information from people because I feel like pen and paper, like people just don't really do that. I didn't want to like leave a ton of business cards and sampling materials. So I thought a good way would be to make a QR code. And literally, if you just Google, make a QR code, it's super easy to make one and you can pick how it looks. And pretty much what you do is you just put a link like right here in the QR code generator. And it will generate the QR code for that link. So what I did is I made the QR code for my sample form. And I'm putting that QR code on my flyer that I'm going to leave at the chiropractor's office. And I may make another QR code that has a different link. So I might just make a QR code that's like, would you like to try some samples? Scan this QR code. And then I might just do a QR code that's like, would you like doTERRA diffuser and the top 10 essential oils, and just put a link straight to, you know how we can generate links in our back office for the starter kits? I'm just going to link one of those. I'm going to pick which one's my favorite. Maybe I'll do one with a deep blue rub because it's the chiropractor's office. But anyway, so that's my plan with the chiropractor's office, is to have two different QR codes, one linked to my sample form, one linked just to a starter kit option, and like just to make it super easy for people. And I'm planning on doing some other things with him as well, and I'll have to let you guys know how that goes. But that's just an idea to use some QR codes. I think they're really handy, especially since we aren't doing a lot of meeting in person anymore. So can you guys still hear me? Okay, it said I got signed out and I was very confused.
We can hear you. We just can't see your screen.
Maybe Michelle tried to log in. Okay. Can you see it now?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay. So yeah, that's just my idea, is to start incorporating some QR codes. They're really easy to make. And then you just like download the picture and you could make like a cute flyer or graphic or something in Canva. And I think there's a lot of different options that you could do with the QR codes, maybe leaving them like I'm doing at a chiropractor's office, but I don't know, maybe even like a health food store or, you know, another small business that you might have the ins with. I think there's a lot of options with a QR code and just making it really simple for people. So they're not like filling out raffle forms and you have to go collect them. And it's like this whole thing. So I'm all about trying to make things a little bit simpler. And that's my ideas for sampling. Keep things simple for new builders onboarding process. I feel like I'm really clarifying some of this stuff. So what I've done, well, I've done two things, but first of all, I made a Google folder. Again, I love Google folders. And I called it New Builder Welcome. And when I have a new builder, I'll send them this folder. So they have just like a bunch of really easy resources right here. So there's like the Back to Basics training manual. There's the Business Made Easy PowerPoint presentation that I usually go through with people before they start. There's the business building guide. There's the essential oils made easy, like how to teach a class, and just like strategy check-in and a few other things. And I can add stuff in here if I want to. But I think that just makes it easy for people because there's so many resources, right? And it's sometimes like, where do we find them all? How do we put them all in some place that's like easy to manage? So I did that. And then I also have a little link on my website, and I'm not telling everyone to go make a website, but it's something that's really beneficial for me. So I made just like a little secret page for business people. And on here, and you could just do like an email or a Google folder or something similar to this nature. But I just have like our Zoom link right there. And then I have some of my favorite resources right here. There's like some of the guides. And then I have a playlist on YouTube of some of my favorite, just like business inspiration type of videos, mindset stuff, the compensation plan, like all sorts of those things. And then every month I make a Spotify mixtape. So I have that linked too. And if you guys ever want to check it out, you can find me on Spotify. Here's my playlist for this month. And it's called Decide to Be Happy. And I'm always creating some fun playlists to listen to while you're working and such. But I'm just trying to make things a little bit easier for people. And then I have some of my favorite podcasts. So I love podcasts. I'm like a podcast junkie. I listen to a lot of them. But yeah, that's some stuff that like people ask me. And instead of me having to answer the questions all the time, I just have everything in one place. So again, you don't have to build your own website and do this, but you could make just like a Google Doc or something, email, something to that nature with just like similar categories. And I think that has been helpful for my process as well. All right, I think I have just like one more thing. So I've made over my welcome kits recently, and I don't know if you guys do extensive welcome kits or anything to that nature. I know some people are really into it. Some people just kind of send a few resources. So for me, I send a continuing education punch card. And if you want the download for this, I shared it in our Magic Thrive group at some point. So if you just type in punch card in the search there, you should probably be able to find it, and you can download the images and then you can get them printed onto business cards. I just did that through Vistaprint online. But I have here Attend a 101 class, and then your wellness consult. So those are 2 checks. And then they can come to 8 continuing ed classes. And I teach at least one every month. I know some people teach every week, but I teach at least one continuing ed class every month. And so people can check those off as they come to them. And I think this is a really handy tool. And when they're finished with their punch card, I will send them a book. So that's helpful. I also send a dilution guide like this. I also printed these on business cards, so they're just like nice and small. And I don't remember who shared this file at some point, but I love it. The Your Membership Made Easy, and it explains LRP on the back. And I just got them printed kind of small because I didn't want to send like huge welcome packs. So I can measure the dimensions if you're curious, but it's still readable, but it's not a whole paper and you don't have to fold it. So I like that. And then I also found, I don't know if any of you guys use OneDrops, but I found these on OneDrop Designs. They make a lot of graphics and stuff that you can use. They're little trifolds, and how cute are these favorite roller recipes? And I think that's just so useful for people to dive right into their oils and make some rollers. So I'll usually send an empty roller along with this. And this also does have a dilution guide on it. So I guess my other dilution guides are kind of pointless now, but that's okay. And then there's also a diffuser guide, recipes. Isn't that cute? And it comes with, I guess I'm still sharing my screen. I'm sorry, you guys, that probably wasn't big, but it comes with some diffuser recipes for like the top 10 oils, and there's different diffusers there to show you the different kinds. And I just think these are really nifty. So if you have a OneDrop subscription, I think these are bomb. Even if you don't have a subscription, you can just pay like $10 to get 5 downloads. And one of each of these could be a download. And then I also highly recommend the supplements guide as a download. So I've started incorporating all that into my welcome kits. And I feel like it's helpful to give people actual tools and things that they can use in their welcome kits. So that's just a few tips. And something else that I'm started doing with people is having wellness check-ins. And, you know, it's kind of like a doctor's office where you have like your yearly check-in, right? I think that's really valuable to have those with our current customers to just see where they're at. So what I did is I made a Calendly And basically it can sync with like your Google Calendar or your iCloud calendar. But basically you just send people a link and you can put times that you're available and just say, hey, I would love to have our wellness check-in, sign up for a time, and maybe you can offer an incentive if that's something you'd like to do. My incentive I'm offering is, I just made these. So I'm offering these as an incentive for my current customers, as well as the Supplements Made Easy guide as like a little freebie. So I'm just saying I'll have a freebie for you after our chat, and I send them the link and they can sign up for a time that works for them. And I think that's just a little bit easier because I feel like I spend so much time communicating back and forth with people like, oh, when can you chat? Oh, that doesn't work for me. Oh, sorry, I got busy. And it just kind of stresses me out, especially running two different businesses. I'm doing that with both of my businesses with my other clients too. So I've done this both ways, and it makes things a little simpler for people to just choose a time that works with my schedule. And then once someone chooses a time, it basically blocks that off. So like no one else can book it, if that makes sense. And you can use a free version of this. There's also like a paid version. There's also other ways that you could do this. I imagine you could just write out your calendar and block off times and maybe send people a picture of it or something like that. But I was just trying to find a way to make things simpler so that I wasn't spending so much time communicating back and forth with people. And it's made my life a little bit simpler. So just remember, guys, that your time is valuable. We are serving people, and, you know, our customers aren't just credit cards. And I feel like if we can really add value and help solve their problems, then we don't have to sell them products. Because, you know, when you, it's like, I mean, I'm not saying that we're all doctors, but when you go to the doctor and you say, I need help with this, and they prescribe you whatever, you don't care what it is because they're solving your problem, right? You don't care how much it costs usually. You just trust their judgment. You trust whatever they're saying. Because that was their recommendation for you. And so I think that if we can just provide value in solving people's problems, then it's going to really help with our businesses and not make us feel like we have to sell, and we feel like our clients are just credit cards and stuff like that. So, you know, that's something that I'm working on as well, is just making sure that I'm asking the right questions so that I can find out what people's problems are so that I can solve the problems. And just narrowing down on that in the way that I present myself to people on social media, all the things, has been something that I've been working on, and something I think that is valuable for all of us to work on, because, you know, sales, like nobody wants to feel salesy in sales. So if you can fix people's problems, if you can help them, then it won't feel that way. But you just have to find out what they are. You have to get people to open up to you. So anyways, you guys, those are some of my tangible tips of stuff that's working for me right now. We're about at our 30 minutes, but do you guys have any quick questions or, you know, feedback or any comments you'd like to share before we end the meeting?
That was awesome. Thank you so much for sharing all those tips. A lot of really great stuff to get incorporated into my routine. So I appreciate it.
Yay, you're welcome. And you guys, I mean, we all have things to learn from each other. I mean, everybody does this business differently. That's like the beauty of it. But I'm not saying you have to do all these things, but they're just things that I do that have made things a little simpler or quicker for me. So you'll have to let me know if you try any of the things, especially the QR codes. I think that that's like a brilliant little integration there. And, you know, simplifying some of your processes can take a lot of the stress out. So keep in touch with me. I love chatting with you guys. I thrive on just communication and team, and that stuff is really important to me. So never feel hesitant to shoot me a text or an Instagram message and say, hey, I tried this, it worked, or hey, how do you do this, or anything like that. I love chatting with our team, and I think that's one of the best part about the business, is having a team. So I'm going to end this recording now.